Hey there! Welcome everyone to UX Folio's webinar on how to build an outstanding UX portfolio. I'm Annette and I will lead today's webinar session. So I'll just wait a few more minutes until everyone arrives. I'm really glad this many of you are interested in portfolio building and I hope I can share some useful information with you. You know, we've been working in the UX field for many years now and we have seen a lot of portfolios. We would like to share our knowledge and help you, UX professionals, to find your dream jobs. And for that, the first step is to create an awesome UX portfolio. So let's see today's agenda. First, I will talk about how we became experts of UX portfolios. Then, we will see what UX leads and recruiters need in a portfolio when recruiting for UXers. Then, I will show you the ideal UX portfolio structure that meets UX recruiters' needs and the parts which should be definitely included. And finally, I will talk about how you can create your own amazing UX portfolio super quickly and easily. Okay, so as I can see, everyone is here, so let's start. For those who have recently joined, welcome everyone. I'm Annette from UX Folio and this is our webinar on portfolio building. So, UX portfolios. We all know that this is the thing that will get us an interview, yet we rarely take the time to research what should it contain and then to create one. So today I'm going to walk you through what are the essential parts of a UX portfolio, and hopefully with all this info in your head you can immediately start building your own portfolios. But let's take a step back for a moment. I work at a UX design agency called UX Studio. We have clients from all over the world, from Asia to the USA, and we work together both with startups and big multinational companies. Over the last few years, we have grown into a 30% UX design agency, so we have seen our fair share of applications and portfolios. We received more than 2,000 applications and we reviewed more than 600 portfolios by now. During these hiring processes, what we noticed is that many people upload their Behance or Dribble link as their portfolio. And we have seen some inspiring shots in there, but almost all of these are only about showcasing nice interface parts. But UX is much more than beautiful screens. At this point, we can all agree that nice UI doesn't necessarily mean good UI. When we want to hire someone, we don't want to see if the candidates really can create pretty screens, but a useful and easy to use digital product. And without context, nobody knows if that app is useful and easy to use or just looks pretty. So these platforms do great things, but just serve a different purpose because they don't really support a bit more explanation of the problem. So one Friday, during our company breakfast, we started getting deeper and deeper into the topic, and we quickly realized, of course, most UX portfolios look like this because there's no tool that helps. So we were like, okay, that's clearly something that can be improved, so why not build a product that will help people create meaningful portfolios? We started this project like we start all of our other projects, with research. So we interviewed people from both sides, people looking for a job and people seeking talent. Let's see some of the highlights of these interviews. UX leads said, "We are looking for problem solvers." Or that, "I want to see challenges the applicant faced." Or they said, "I want them to provide context." As you can see, it was not long until we realized that people shared these frustrations and problems that designers are not showcasing the important stuff UX leads want to see in case studies, like skills needed for the project, some dead ends that might change the course of the project, some stuff you learned during the project, and all in all, an overview of your design process. And here comes the tricky part. Designers and UX leads are not on the same page yet. While UX leads want all of the above, designers look at a portfolio as a thing they need to get out of the way because they have to have it, but don't have time to create it. They want something quick, easy, and with the least amount of writing possible. So by now, it's evident that designers need something more, but we cannot leave out the visuals. So write design stories instead. In the design story, you can showcase your strengths and design process and really show what you're capable of and also have nice visuals that reflect your design skills. Okay, so how do we create these design stories? Because it surely sounds cool. Based on the interviews, we collected the most important things design leads and recruiters would like to see in your portfolio. So let's see the essential parts and the characteristics of a UX portfolio and how to create them. First of all, do you know what's the best format to showcase these design stories I just mentioned? Case studies. A case study will do the job perfectly. So write case studies for your projects and don't think of them as long essays because UX leads won't have the time to read them word by word. So make sure they are concise yet information packed. Here you can see an example case study and we will go through the 6 essential parts that build up a meaningful case study. So think about it as a hero's journey and you are the hero, so you will instantly feel more motivated to write a case study. First, you need an exposition, then a confrontation, and finally, a resolution. So, first, give context and explain the challenge you faced. Then, describe how you solved the problem. Then, show the results and what you achieved. And last but not least, summarize what you've learned. Now, let's see the 6 essential parts of a case study one by one. First things first, you have to provide context. Write about the biggest challenge of the project or the main problem that kickstarted the whole project you're gonna write about. This should set the case study in a way that the rest of the case study will make sense. For example, here, the designer needed to design a tool for ordering cabinets, and the main problem was that there were a lot of them and mistakes needed to be minimal. She also added another important point, the team. UX is rarely a lonely process, so make sure you highlight your role and who were the people you worked with. You know, evidence of teamwork doesn't look too shabby on a portfolio. Now, you set up the scene. You have to tell the story. Explain your design process and your way of thinking by presenting your workflow. How did you get from A to B? How did you solve the problem you mentioned? Just tell a story. Make sure it's easy to follow and not too complex. So look at this example. It has a summary at the top giving a nice overview of the whole process, and those steps are elaborated one by one. And while we are at elaborating stuff, make sure you talk about what UX methods you used during your design process. On this example, you can see all the phases, but the designer Also highlighted why each method had to be used and what was the aim with it. For example, she did heat mapping to determine the understanding of the labels and the elements placed on the interface. Without explanation, it will seem you're doing stuff because everybody else is doing particular methods, and that's really not the image you want to present. And now we arrive at our third point, user insights. Always share insights about your users. It proves you really care about the people you design for, and the whole case study will be easier to comprehend if you have tangible findings listed. So, what user insights UX leads are looking for? We gather insights continuously and from a lot of sources, so make sure to highlight the most important ones. Talk about what users said on interviews, share what you found out when conducting a field research, summarize what behavior patterns you noticed while looking through analytics, explain what users done on user tests while testing the prototype, or mention user feedback you got from customer support or from surveys. You can present this however you'd like. I will show you two different solutions. You can summarize your insights right after each step of the design process, as you can see here. While writing about the prototype, she summarized that what were the outcomes of the user tests. And here you can see a summary of user insights. In this case study, she walked through her process, and then at the end, she highlighted the most important user insights she gathered, which then later on influenced the designs. Whichever method you prefer, make sure those insights are important and make sense when it comes to your case study, and that really helped solving that challenge you mentioned at the beginning. So, 3 down and 3 to go. The fourth one is design decisions. UX leads want to hire people who are conscious about their decisions. While you design, you improve the user experience in every iteration. In many cases, you have to choose between different solutions. We want to see the different design decisions to read the pros and cons of each and the reason why you chose the winner one. Remember my point about the user insights? Well, never better time to reflect back on those insights than now when talking about decisions. And you know, we rarely judge people based on their design decisions. We simply don't have time to understand your project deep enough for that. If we see you considered many options before making a conscious, well thought out decision, I'll just think you might make a great designer. So present the options, pros and cons, and the final decision. So here's an example doing just that. Here are two versions for an app's navigation, and next to it, the pros of each one. And I know it's hard to consciously think about those things because most of the time, this whole decision process happens in the back of our mind, unless we have to go and present it to a client, a boss, or a coworker. And now, the fifth part is about showing the results, what you achieved in the project. It can be the app itself, the screens of the app. It can be any figure, statistics that you find important. You can add quotes from users and from stakeholders, and any other type of evidence that proves you managed to solve the problem you presented in the introduction part. Here you can see some statistics which were important when measuring the success of the final design, and also some quotes proving the team's valuable work. Or you can go really simple like this case study here. This is a case study of an application called Monica, helping people organizing destination weddings. What she found important to show is the final UIs and also a short sentence. With Monica, travel agents can now work 4 times faster. And I don't know about you guys, but 4 times faster seems quite good to me. And now, for the last part that seems to be missing from all the portfolios, the learnings. And at the end of your case study, summarize what you've learned. Just tell honestly all the things you find important. It shows you really want to learn more. You constantly want to improve your skills and be better and better in what you do. Here you can see some examples for it. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You can summarize that in some sentences or list them as advice for the future you. So, to summarize all the things I've talked about, present the challenge, your process with user insights and design decisions, and the results with some learnings. And let's not forget about the basics. You have to have a stunning overview of your work because when someone looks at your portfolio for the first time, all you can do is rely on first impressions. So, set up an online portfolio because nobody wants to download and open your PDFs anymore. If you feel like it and want to look more professional, buy a domain as well. It never hurts. And then, once you have your space, you don't even have to code or write lines of HTML. Just choose a tool you like and start building. Because what truly matters is the content. So, on your online portfolio, what UX leads are looking for are your short bio, contact information, and your projects. You don't need to display all of your projects you ever worked on. 3 to 5 is the golden number. No more and no less. Look at these examples. All of them has nice big images for their projects to grab the attention of the design lead or recruiter, and they emphasize their strengths. For example, the left-hand side ones is mobile UI design. And at this point, if you've done everything we discussed, they will surely fall in love with your portfolio and click on one of your projects to get to know you and your work better. So, to summarize the important basics, have an online portfolio showcasing 3 to 5 projects with a stunning overview of detailed case studies. Okay, so at this point, you might think, well, this sounds good, but it takes a lot of time. But this is exactly the problem we were set out to solve on that particular company breakfast I just mentioned in the beginning. So, we created our product, UX Folio, to support you, both UX designers and researchers, with portfolio building. We made it easy to create a UX portfolio UX leads and recruiters will fall in love with. It creates you your portfolio website without coding. It generates a nice front page which shows images of your projects there, and it allows you to put together nice project case studies in minutes. And since this is a tool we built for UX professionals, we also packed it with useful features tailored for UXers. You can choose from different templates to showcase your work, and you can also customize them to stand out from the crowd when you're applying for a job. When it comes to writing, we know you hate it, based on the interviews we've done in the research part. So, whenever you're stuck and not sure what to write about, you can use our UX copy templates in every kind of topics. It will help you get your message across with guiding questions and some good examples. Another thing we noticed, it's really annoying when presenting work, is to go to Google, find some mockups, open Figma, Sketch, or maybe Photoshop, putting your screens into these mockups and then uploading them. So, with UXfolio, you can create this screen gallery layout and many other by uploading your screens, and then we take care of the layout and mockups so you can focus on the content. Speaking of content, your projects probably included some wireframes or prototypes. So with UXfolio, you can embed those in right into your case study. So UX leads don't have to open links to take a look and might not even come back, but they can interact with it right in your case study. And finally, what is a huge pain point when it comes to portfolios is not public content. If you happen to have sensitive information in your case studies or projects under NDA, as a lot of us do, you can also password protect certain case studies. So only the ones with the password can open it. And as you can see in this video, you can create the structure I've talked about in seconds. Let's just wait for a couple of seconds for the video. So now it's working. So I can show you the video about UXfolio. So when adding a project, select the steps you've done during the project, and we will generate a case study with all the essential parts. All you have to do is fill out the title, upload some images, and write about the steps you have made. You can use our UX copy templates. These will make the process much easier. We also have some templates you can use to showcase your personas, user journey, and customer journey. Illustrate your point easily by adding images and screens. And also add your prototypes easily. Use different built-in mockups. And also the gallery section. You can even customize it. And by the time you notice you're actually building your portfolio, you're already done. So now it's your turn to start building it. But we know that the hardest part is to take the first step, to choose the very first project you will showcase. So let's play a little game and start it together. It will not take more than 2 minutes, I promise. So let's think back to the projects you worked on in the last few years. I will give you a bit of time for it. Write down all the projects that come to your mind now. So, are you ready? Now let's see, which one did you like the most? It's good if you like more, but try to choose the one which was your favorite one. You can also ask yourself, which one did you learn the most from, or which was the most challenging one? The important part is to pick one, but really only one. And I guess you know what's coming. This should be your first project in your portfolio. So let's start creating it. Log into UXfolio and start building your own UX portfolio. Start with the project you just chose. Now you really don't have any excuses left to procrastinate further when it comes to your portfolio. By now you know what UX leads are looking for and what to include in your portfolios. You also know how all these elements should be structured, and now you'll also have the perfect tool for the job. As of now, we have more than 3,000 users, almost 4,000 actually, all over the world, mostly from the US and the UK. And we are working hard on making this tool the best for UX professionals. So the next time you're applying for a job, make sure you're doing it with a meaningful UX portfolio. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention. I hope you heard some useful tricks. I will send you an email for you soon, so you will have the opportunity to give us feedback on this webinar. And also, feel free to ask any questions you may have as a reply to my email. So, hope to talk to you soon. Have a nice day or evening, depending on your current location. Bye!